Shachiputra Atrasvarupam Rupam Tasakajamuripurim Mathurim Ostuatim Radha Kundam Girivaram Oho Radhikaumar Praptoyasya Pratita Kripaya Shri Kurum Tam Natosmi Guravi Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Tadali Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namo Ananda Lila Maya Vigrahaya Hema Bhadivyatchavi Sundaraya Tasmai Mahapremarasatpradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Bhaktya-vihina aparada lakshay Chiltastu kahamani taram kamanti Kripamayikam sharanam tapanda Vrindirumate charanaravindam Vrindirumate charanaravindam Everyone, Govinda Murali Manada Radhikaras Kumama Kripanidhe Supriyacharna King Kurim Kuru Tvayvasmi Tvayvasmi Natvami Tayavana Iti Vikaya Devi Tam Namam Charnantikam. First of all, I offer my Sastang Dandavat Puspanjali, my heart like flowers thousands of times at the lotus feet of my holy master, my supremely worshipable spiritual Gurudev, Asmadiya Paramaradhatama Guru Pada Padma, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pada, Ashtotarasta Sri Rupanugacharya Vadya, Sila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Secondly, I offer my pranam thousands of times at the lotus feet of my Param Gurudev, to Srila Prabhupada and to all of our Sri Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Parampara. And finally, I offer my pranam to all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, Panchakalpatarvasa, Kupasanugaviri, Puditanam Pavanibhyo, Vaishnavibhyo Namo. So today is the second day of our festival of Gaura Lilamrita, the nectar of the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srila Krishna Kaviraj Goswami Pad, he said, Struyatam Sruyatam Nityam Giyatam Giyatam Muda Chinchatam bhaktas Chaitanya charitamritam. Oh devotees, hear again and again the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Giyatam, sing again and again the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chinchatam bhaktas, and meditate, deliberate, reflect on the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Daya Kara Vichara Korile Chiti Bhave Chamatkar. Oh my dear friends, if you are interested in reason, then deliberate on the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And if you deliberate on how merciful Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is, then Bhave Chamatkar, you will be struck with wonder, completely amazed. Who is the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikriti Ladini Shakti Rasmat Ekatmanavapi Bhuvi Pura Deha Bedam Gatuto Chaitanya Kyam Prakatam Maduna Tatwam Chaikyam Aptam Radha Bhava Juti Suvalitam Nomi Krishna Swarupam. Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikriti. The pastimes of Radha and Krishna, they are the transformations. They are the waves in the ocean of Prem. They are the play of Ladini Shakti. Ekatmanavapi bhuvibura vedam gatoto. Radha Krishna are one soul. Radha Krishna aichi sada ek hi swarup. Lila rasa aswadite dhare due roop. But they have two bodies to relish the Lila rasa, the mellows of their loving pastimes. So there was no time when they separated. They are eternally in two bodies. Deha Vedo Gato Pura. Pura means there's no beginning. They're always in two bodies. But Chaitanya Kyam Prakatam Maduna. Now those two bodies have again become one. In the form of Chaitanya. Ratbhava Jyoti Svalitam Nomi Krishna Surupam. Mahaprabhu is the Swarup of Krishna, now absorbed in the sentiments of Radhika and also hidden, covered by the sentiments of Radhika. Because he's relishing her bhavs. This is Krishna's nature. Even from when he was a little boy, if he wanted to relish something, first he would steal it. And then he would go to a hidden place and relish it, you know. He would go into some elderly gopi's house, sneak in there, steal the butter, and then he would go to a secret place and then taste that butter. So in the same way, Sri Krishna has just stolen the bhavs of Srimati Radhika, and now he's hiding himself by his Gaurakanti golden complexion so no one can recognize him. And he's tasting, relishing that in his hidden form, Jana avatar. So this is the thing, that if the pastimes of Radha Krishna are nothing but the waves in the ocean of love, and Radha Krishna become one in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then what is this Gaura Lila? This is also, Gaura Lila is also Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikriti, the transformations in the ocean of Radhika's prem. But it appears to be somewhat different. There's some speciality in Gaura Lila. Gaura Lila is also the waves of Prem. But these waves of the Prem of Vrindavan are manifest in the form of Maha Sankirtan. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has described, though Gaura Lila is Radha Krishna's Lila, it has some Vaishishta, some specialities. And it is very important to deliberate upon them. Vichar. Vichar means with a fully concentrated, undistracted mind to absorb yourself in thinking, oh, what is this? First of all, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said Gaura Lila is Bhajana Lila. Secondly, Gaura Lila is Parisistha Lila. And thirdly, Gaura Lila is Udbhodhaka Lila. So this is our subject for this evening. We'll try to touch upon the points, how Gaura Lila is Bhajan Lila, Parisistha Lila and Udbhodhaka Lila. So first of all, what is the first thing we're discussing? Just a quick test to make sure everyone's paying attention. What's the first subject?
The speciality.
Bhajan Lila. Yes. In this Lila, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, he's doing bhajan. And he's inspiring that bhajan also in others. Srila Vishwanath Thakur said, Ridva prey nava bhakti shasya vitate sanjivati sagama Rambe karma kapartu dahadamani vishwapagullasini dura nema rusaki no pistarasi bhavaya bhuyat prabhu Sri Chaitanya kripa nirankusha mahamadurya kadambini. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself is the mahamadurya kadambini. A kadambini means a dense mass of rain clouds that have gathered in the sky. You know, in India the summer is very hot and everyone is suffering too much. And they're waiting, just waiting. God, when is the rainy season going to come? And when the summer is coming to an end, then they look and they see the fresh and dark, beautiful rain clouds, a bank of rain clouds gathering in the sky, and they're waiting. When will the clouds burst and shower the cool, refreshing rains? So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, for the living entities who are burning in this material existence, samsara davanala lithaloka, he has come like a huge bank of fresh rain clouds, and he's raining, but not raining H2O. What is he raining? Mahamadurya. Extreme sweetness of Radha Krishna's Vrindavan Lila. This is what he's raining. Madhurya Bhagavatasa Braja Koila Paricha Tahasuka Vyasera Nanda Stani Stani Bhagavate Vaniyachi Chanaite Tahasuni Mate Bhaktagan. The essence of Bhagavata, the essence of Godhood, is not all this Aishwaryasya Smagrasya Virajasya Yasasasya. This is not the essence of Bhagavan, his power, his opulence, his knowledge, his detachment. The essence of Bhagavata is Madhurya, his sweetness. What is sweetness? Means Manoharita. The charming qualities that if you see them, they steal your heart and you forget everything. How beautiful. This is Madhurya. Madhurya is his naravat, human-like pastimes. And especially of all the types of love in Vrindavan, in Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya and Madhurya. The sweetest type of love is the romantic love of Radha and Krishna. So he's the rain cloud which is making a monsoon. Gaura Lila is the monsoon of the Mahamadhurya, of the sweetness of Radha Krishna's loving pastimes. Gauranga! Yes. So, Mahaprabhu is that cloud. And when that cloud rains, then what happens? Ridva prena vashasta bhakti vitate sanjivani swagama. Srila Vishwanath Thakur is saying, our heart is like a field. And just as when the rain comes, then if there are some seeds in the field, then the seeds sprout and begin to grow. So 9 types of seeds begin to grow in the field of the heart when the rain of Mahaprabhu's mercy comes. What are those 9 types of seeds? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Archanam, Bandhanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, and Nivedanam. All the angas of bhakti, they begin to grow. But you know, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy is more merciful than the rain. Because if the rain falls and there's some seed in the ground, it will sprout. But if there are no seeds in the ground, then when the rain falls, then what happens? Nothing. But Mahaprabhu's mercy is such that in the hearts of the living entities, there are no seeds of bhakti. But when His rain of mercy comes, that rain of His mercy makes like a miracle. It is achintya, inconceivable, makes the appearance of all those seeds of bhakti and then makes them sprout also. So it's amazing. Vishnu Sanjeevani Swagama Rambe Kama Tapatu Dahadahmini. Summertime is very hot, and when the rain comes, as soon as the rain clouds come, then you feel some cooling and relief. So in this world, we are burning with what? Kam, lust. Material desires. Everyone is thinking, oh, lust is my friend. If I can enjoy my desires, then I'll be very happy. No. Lust is the gate to the hell, narak, into a condition of extreme suffering. Lust is like a fire. See, Krishna said, Abritam jnanametena jnanino nityavarina kama rupena kunteya dushparena analena cha. Hey Arjun, you should know that kam, lust, it comes from Rajagun, the mode of passion. And this mode of passion, it covers your knowledge of who you are. Though you are Atma, though you are soul, though you are eternally Krishna's Das or Dasi, but what you think? I am such and such a person from New York. I am a taxi driver. I am a bank manager. I am a student of design. Everyone is thinking, identifying with their body and mind. Why? Because their knowledge that they are a spirit soul, Krishna's servant, is covered by kam, by lust. So Krishna said, Dusparena analena cha. This lust is like a fire. If you have a fire and you try to put it out by putting gasoline, what will happen? It will increase. So in the same way, if you try to fulfill your material desires by enjoying them, then it goes, the fire goes down for a moment. Just like if you throw the gasoline on the fire, it goes, then it comes up more than ever before. So it cannot be extinguished at all. But the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when His mercy is raining, the Maha Madhurya, the sweetness of Mahaprabhu's mercy is raining, then at once the heart becomes cool. Anya vilasita shunyam jnana kamattanavritam anukulyena krishnanam sham bhakti uttama. Anya vilas, no material desires at all. When you have no desire, when you become hopeless in this world, then you'll be happy. You know? Like Pingala the prostitute. One prostitute named Pingala, she was standing outside her boudoir and she was looking out for a customer. So she saw one man coming. She said, hey, will this man be my client tonight? And she was hoping, and then he walked past. Oh, she felt pain. Again she was waiting, another man came. Again her hopes were going up, and then again she felt pain. This happened the whole night. Finally, she gave up all hope. Forget it. I don't care. No customers at all tonight. And then as soon as she did that, she became happy. So many people walking past, no pain at all. So in this way, Srimad Bhagavatam tells us, Asha hi paramam dukam, nirasha paramam sukam. To have a hope, to have a desire, to have material ambition, this is the cause of your suffering. And when you give up all worldly desires and only desire to serve the Supreme Lord for His happiness, then you become overjoyed. Because that is our nature. If a fish is out of water, it is just flapping around and suffering so much. Even if you give a new iPhone or anything to the fish. But still he'll be suffering. The fish has to go back in the water. So in the same way, in this world, everyone is suffering only. And when we go back into our true nature, that is the seva, premamayi seva, loving service of Supreme Lord, then that is our true nature and we find eternal happiness there. Automatically. So, Rambe Kam Tapatu Dahadavani Vishva Sini. Another thing happens when the rain cloud bursts and the monsoon season comes. There were some rivers and streams which were going here and there. But those rivers and streams were controlled by their banks. So they had a fixed direction. But when the monsoon season comes, then all the rivers flood, the streams flood, and they don't follow their course anymore and they go everywhere. So in the same way, though there were very few pure devotees in the world, when Mahaprabhu came, he flooded the world with Krishna Prem, and this current of Prem, which was just like some streams here and there, spread everywhere. And his associates appeared one after another, like our Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Srila Prabhupada. And then these currents of Prem, which were going around Gaura, they went everywhere. They went to Orissa, they went all over India, and now they've gone all over the world, and now they're arriving in also New York. So this is called Vishvapagullasini. By the mercy of Mahaprabhu, this Prem, it cannot be contained. It overflows and spreads everywhere without discrimination. Daru me marusaki nopi sarasi bhuyaya bhuyat prabhu. Srila Vishnu Thakur, in his humility, he's saying, so even though that flood went everywhere, but it did not go in the middle of the desert. And I am like that. I am one dried up branch in the middle of the desert, suffering so much. But still, some air, some moisture from that flood is being carried in my direction. So this is called the Guru Parampara. Just as when there are waves splashing and the mist goes into the air and the wind carries the moisture across. So the wind carries that moisture so it can touch any creeper which is dry, and that creeper comes alive again. So through our Guru Parampara, then, even though 500 years ago, Mahaprabhu, he was performing his Lila and spreading love everywhere, but some moisture, some vapor of those pastimes are being carried on the air of the Harikatha of our Guru Parampara, so that ourselves, who are like dried twigs in the desert, that moisture comes to us through the Katha of our Guru Parampara, from Guru to Guru to Guru to Guru, like this, and then touches us, and we also become alive in our bhakti. So someone may raise an objection that in Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna said, if you give charity at the wrong time, in the wrong place, to the wrong person, and the wrong donation, then this is called charity in the mode of ignorance. So surely someone can say, Mahaprabhu is giving the highest love of Vrindavan at the wrong time, Kali Yuga, in the wrong place, New York, to the wrong people, the people of Kali Yuga, always playing video games, watching TV. So this is very bad. So in reply, Srila Jiva Goswami said no. And there's a reason why Mahaprabhu is distributing this Prem to everyone, everywhere. Why? Because it is a well-known custom in Vedic society. If there is a king, and this king set off from his kingdom, and he went and he conquered so many other kingdoms, became emperor, and from all the other kings, he took a tribute in the form of gold and jewels and pearls and so much wealth. Then when that king returns to his own capital city, then he has the Vijay, victory procession through the streets. So he rides on the back of a big elephant with big baskets on either side of the elephant full of jewels and gold. And his associates also, his ministers are there also with him, riding on the elephant. And the king rides through the street to celebrate. Now he's not a king. No. Now he's Maha-Adipati. Now he's the emperor. And the king goes through the streets and all the people come. Even poor people and beggars are there. And the king is just grabbing a handful of jewels and gold and scattering them to the crowd. And everyone is Jai, Jai, Jai. Because the king is so happy with his victory, he's just throwing jewels into the crowd left and right, and anyone who catches them becomes rich. So in the same way, Krishna has a victory. Try to understand this point. Something very deep. Krishna has some victory. You see, in Krishna Lila, Krishna is Rasik Shekhar. He is the relisher of all rasa. To relish rasa, he did so many things. He performed the Rasa Lila. Even he left Vrindavan for a long time and went to Mathura and Dwarka. Because why? Na bina vipralambena sambhoga pushtimashnute. Separation makes meeting more ecstatic. After separation, then the meeting is more joyful. So this is why he went to Mathura and Dwarka, only so he could come back and experience the rasa of this amazing reunion with Radhika and Gopis, and also with other Nanda, Yashoda and old Sakas, everyone, when he came back to Vrindavan. So when Sri Krishna came back to Vrindavan, there he met with Radhika, and there he experienced the Samriddhimat Sambhog. Samriddhimat Sambhog means the type of union which is extremely intense, fully flourishing, fully successful. My Prana Vallabha, after so many years, has come back to Vrindavan. How ecstatic it is when Radha and Krishna meet after long separation. And Radhika is in Madanakya Mahabhav, the highest Prem. Love goes up to Bhav, Prem, but then more, Sneha, Man, Pranay, Rag, Anurag, Bhav, Mahabhav, Rudabhav, Adirudabhav, Modan, Mohan, and highest love, Madanakya Mahabhav, which is only in Radhika, not in anyone else. And Krishna relished that special meeting, Samriddhimat Sambhog, and the Madan Bhav of Radhika, and they embraced, and it was so beautiful. But even in that embrace, they did not become one body, one form. But in Gaura Lila, now Radha Krishna's embrace is so deep that every single pore of the body of Krishna is embraced by every pore of the body of Radhika, and they become one in the form of Gauranga Swarup. When Krishna experiences this Gauranga Swarup, he's so ecstatic. He becomes like that king riding through the streets on an elephant, just throwing jewels to everyone indiscriminately. This is Gaura Lila. Gauranga! Gauranga! Excuse me, sometimes I become insane. Don't call a doctor, it's actually okay. So, someone may say, but I am a great offender. I am very aparadi, maha aparadi. I committed many offenses, so what can I do? There's no hope for me, there's no hope for me. But knowing these things, Srila Rupa Goswami said, Hari purata sundar juti kadamba sandipitaha sadaridaya kandares puratuva sachinandana. Hari, Krishna is Hari. Hari means a lion. Because aparads are like so many wild elephants living in the heart. Aparad is like a wild elephant. Cannot control, trampling everything, destroying everything. So the aparads are like a wild elephant in the heart. So if some wild elephants are living in a cave, but a lion will come and roar in the cave, Haribo! Then all the elephants, they will run for their life. So by the Maha Sankirtan of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates, it removes all offenses from the heart so that we can attain Krishna Prem. The elephants are intoxicated, but as soon as they hear the roar of a lion, they become sober. So in the same way, those who hear the roar of the Kirtan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they may be very, very whimsical and frivolous. But by the power of Mahaprabhu's Kirtan, they become very sober. They become dhira. Sarvam apimam pritivim sasishyat etan vegan yo vishaheta dhiraha. All their senses become controlled, they become dhira. They can control vacho vegam, manasakoda vegam, jiva vegam, udrapasta vegam. Etan vegan yo vishaheta dhiraha. Sober. All senses controlled and focused on bhakti. So Hari Purta Sundar Juti Kadamba Sandipitaha Sadarida Kandare Spratuva Sachinandana. May that Sachinandan appear in the core of your heart. He's like a lion. Why? because a lion has a very thin waist. Mahaprabhu has big chest and very thin waist. A lion has a mane also. And Mahaprabhu has long curling hair falling over his shoulders. And also Mahaprabhu was born under the Singha Rasi. That means that his astrological sign is Leo, the lion. So he's like a lion, roaring in the kirtan. May that very Sachinandan Gohari spuratu. That means that you should be a spurti, a vision of him in your heart. How? Listening. Just listen. Hear the glories of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. By hearing, you will see him appear in the core of your heart. And you should call Sachinandana Rupa Goswami. Why is Rupa Goswami using this word Sachinandana? Because his mother is very dear to him. Sachinandan, son of Sachi. You think, how dear is Krishna's mother to Krishna? Aisham Gosha Nivasinam Utapvam Kim Deva Rate Itinas Chaito Vishla Falak Phalam Tumaparad Kutapyan Muyati Sadvaishad Apiputana Pisakulam Twameva Deva Apita Yat Dhamata Surit Priyaiva Tanaya Pranasas Tatkrite. Lord Brahma said, Oh Krishna, I am confused. I don't know how you reciprocate with the Brijavasis. What is there that you can give to the Brijavasis when Putana came to you, a witch, with poison on her breast to kill you, but just because she dressed up like your mother, she was dressed up like your mother. Seeing her, you became so ecstatic, remembering your mother, that you gave her Prem and sent Putana to Golok with Krishna Prem. That means, if someone has Prem, then they control Krishna. So, Lord Brahma is saying, I don't understand. Putana only imitating your mother, and what did you give her? You gave yourself. So in terms of giving a reward to someone, what can Krishna give more than himself? So Brahmaji said, I'm confused. He was moving, he was wrinkling his nose like this, his four noses. I say, what's going on? If you gave yourself to Putana, then what is left over that you can give to the Brajavasis who have given Yad Dhamma Tasurit Priyaiva Tanaya Pranasyas Krite? They gave their homes, their wealth, their families, their own bodies, their pran, their hearts. They've given everything to you. How can you reciprocate with them? So is it possible to give, for Krishna to give something more than Krishna? Then what's left over? Yes, the Prem of Braja. Because Putana got the Prem of Golok. But the Prem of Braja, in which there's no Aishwarya. And also in which, in Braja there is Parakya Rasa. Radha Krishna not married. Radhika is married to someone else, Abhimanyu. And she's secretly meeting with Krishna. This Prem is very, very intense. So here's the thing, if Krishna loves his mother so much that he can give Prem to someone he's trying to poison him just because she reminded him of his mother, then what about Sachinandan Gohari? He's also Krishna, but he's more merciful. Like yesterday we said, Krishna killed Kamsa Maharaj, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when Kamsa Maharaj came in the form of Chankazi, he gave Prem. You see? In Vrindavan Lila, Krishna, he wanted to get butter from the pot, so he smashed one pot to take butter. And Mother Yashoda chased after him and caught him and tied him up with a rope. But what did Nimai do? Nimai took a stick, went into the kitchen and smashed every pot in the whole kitchen. Have you read in Chaitanya Bhagavat?
Yes.
And did Sachimata tie him up?
No.
No? Oh, calm down. He did not even give a punishment. So Sachi is also Yashoda. Nimai is also Gopal. But in this Lila, there is more mercy in this Lila. So if you say Yashoda Nandan, Krishna is pleased. But if you say Sachinandan, then Gaura will be more merciful. How merciful? One thing you should know about Sachi. In your life, try to be like Sachi. Sachi had to face many sorrows in her life. You know, Christians, they worship Mother Mary, and they remember the 7 sorrows of the Virgin Mary. But our Sachi, she also had many sorrows in her life, but she was never discouraged. First of all, when she was young, she became pregnant and gave birth to a girl. But just shortly after birth, the girl died. It was very heartbreaking to lose a child. Anyone who did not experience it cannot imagine. Then she got pregnant again and had another girl, and she also died. And this happened 8 times. She was so worried each time she tried to give birth. And then finally, after 8 children died, then she had a son, and she was in anxiety. He may die, but he lived. How attached she was to him. Who was it? Vishwarup. And then after Vishwarup, she had another son, Nimai, Vishwambar. 2 brothers, Vishwarup and Vishwambar. But then what happened? That son to whom she was so attached, Vishwarup, he took sannyas. Again she was heartbroken. And Vishwarup's younger brother, our Nimai, Sachinandan, Nimai, saw his mother crying and came in the lap of his mother Sachi and taking cloth, wiping her tears. Oh mother, don't cry. I will never leave you. And he pacified his mother. Then what happened? Jagannath Mishra, her husband, passed away. So then she was thinking, now if my son will take sannyas, I will be all alone. So she arranged the marriage of Nimai to Lakshmi Priya. And Nimai was a great scholar, and he went to East Bengal, which is now Bangladesh, to teach there. And while he was away, one snake bit Lakshmi Priya and she also died again. So we see in the life of Sachimata, one tragedy after another. Remember this when you're feeling upset or complaining about anything. Oh, I'm having a bad hair day. Right? Remember this and stop complaining. So many tragic moments in her life. And then, even in this situation, she was very humble. When Nimai became a Vaishnava, after his initiation in Gaya, then he used to give instructions to his mother. You should strictly follow Ekadasi and Dwadasi like this and this. All the devotees, when he was giving Prem to everyone, they said, oh, give to your mother. Nimai said, no, I'll never give to Sachimata. Why not? Because she made an offense to Advaita Acharya. When my brother took sannyas, you see before, his brother was going to the house of Advaita Acharya and hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. And what is the result of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam? By hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, you realize that everything in the world is worthless as a piece of empty dry straw. If you did not realize that the world is like an empty dry straw and completely worthless, you did not hear, the Bhagavatam did not go in your ears yet. So realizing this, Vishwarup, he took sannyas and he left. And Sachimata became upset. She was blaming Advaita Acharya. Oh, if Advaita Acharya had not taught Bhagavatam to my son, he would not have left. So his name should not be Advaita, non-duality, it should be Dvaita. Because separated, mother and son. Even she didn't say it, only she was thinking it. But Nimai Pandit knew so. No. Don't think any bad thoughts about any devotee if you want to attain Mahaprabhu's mercy. So then, Sachimata said, what can I do? You have to take the foot dust of Advaita Acharya. Advaita Acharya was like, no, I cannot give my foot dust to Sachimata, she's so great. And Advaita Acharya folded his hands and he began to pray, oh Sachi, you are so glorious. You are the mother of the universe. You are Yashoda, you are Devaki, you are Kausalya, you are Aditi, You are the mother of all incarnations. All the mothers of all the incarnations for all time, past, present, and future are all in you. And when he was glorifying Sachi, he was in so much ecstasy, he fainted and fell down to the ground. Then the devotee said, quick Sachi, while he's unconscious, get his foot dust. Then Sachimata came and took the first foot dust from Udbhodhaka and became overwhelmed with Prem. So she is very, very humble, very tolerant in the midst of all difficulties, always devoted to Nimai, always serving her deities of Krishna in the home, regardless of what trouble or problem comes. And then finally, the great sorrow of Sachi. What is that? Nimai sannyas. He was married again to Vishnu Priya Devi. She was very young, like 15 years old. And still, Nimai Pandit, he became hard like stone. And leaving everyone, in the early morning, at the end of night, he jumped into the Ganga and swam to cross the river to go to Katwa to take sannyas. He was swimming in the cold, very cold season, through the Ganges river at night, just swimming and calling Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. He was ready to do everything, give up anything to attain Krishna. And in this way, when the morning came, the hearts of all the residents of Navadvip were broken. Especially Sachimata's heart was broken, but what was she doing? Giving comfort and shelter to his wife Vishnu Priya. Vishnu Priya was weeping. Sachimata's heart is broken, but with a broken heart she's trying to give comfort to others. So how glorious is Sachimata, we cannot believe. Mahaprabhu set off after sannyas. He tried to go to Vrindavan, but Nityananda tricked him. Whenever Mahaprabhu was walking and he saw some cowherd boys, and he would ask them, oh, is this the road to Vrindavan, that way? And behind him, Nityananda was behind Mahaprabhu and making a sign to the boys like. So the boys, they saw Nityananda, oh, that's the way to Vrindavan, like this. So in this way, Nityananda tricked Mahaprabhu, and he came around in a circle and came back to, very close to Navadvip Dham, Shantipur. And he arrived on the bank of the river there. Oh, now I've arrived in Vrindavan. And he began to offer prayers to Jamuna Devi. Chidananda Pano, Sadananda Suno, Paraprema Patri, Drava Brahma Gatri, Aganam Lavitri, Jagatche Madatri, Pavitri, Kriyano Vapur Mitra Putri. And as he was praying to Jamuna Devi, he saw a boat coming down the river with Advaitacharya on it. So, Advaitacharya, what are you doing here in Vrindavan? Of course, it was Shantipur, very close to Navadvip. Advaitacharya said, my Lord, wherever you are, that is Vrindavan. Then Mahaprabhu, he looked and he saw all the coconut trees everywhere. Wait a minute. Vrindavan is not full of coconut trees. Vrindavan is full of tamal trees and kadamba trees. So then he realized, oh, Nityananda Prabhu, that Nita had tricked him. So then Advaitacharya brought Mahaprabhu across the river to his house in Shantipur. And when the news came, Mahaprabhu came back. Then all the residents of Navadvip, they became mad. Whatever they were doing, they were running there. Men, women, children. Lame persons also got up and began running. Even the blind went to see him. They all jumped into the Ganges. There was so many, they couldn't wait to get in the boats to cross. Everyone jumped in the Ganges to swim. The whole Ganges just looked like a river of heads. You could not see the water even. So many people were in a mood of madness to go and see Mahaprabhu after their heartbreaking separation. At that time, Advaitacharya said to some servants, take a palanquin and go to Mayapur, to Jagannath Mishra Bhavan, and bring Sachimata on a palanquin as the guest of honor. So they went there and told Sachi, oh, Your son has returned, he's in Shantipur. So everyone could go except for one person, Vishnupriya. That is another subject for another day. Everyone in Navadvip could go, but one person could not go, Vishnupriya. So Sachimata got on the palanquin and they carried her all the way to Shantipur, and there many devotees were there, and in the middle Mahaprabhu was there. Sachimata got down from the palanquin and she saw her son for the first time. You know, before he was Chitta Gana Kunchita Kesham Tilaka Vinindita Shashidara Rupaka Bhuvan Manoharavi Shaham Bhuvan Manoharavi. Before he had beautiful curling hair, decorated with sandalwood paste and chandan tilak and a garland of flowers and so many ornaments. Looking like Cupid, so beautiful and attractive. And now how is he? Sachimata saw him for the first time with shaved head and one saffron cloth around his waist. To live the life of tapasya. Sleeping on the ground with no cushion, no pillow. Her heart was broken. Nimai, that is Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, gave pranam to his mother. And she took him in her lap. She wanted to look at his beautiful face, but her eyes were overflowing with so many tears, she could not see. So that time, Sachimata said, "O Vishwambar, you, yourself, you know about the pain of separation because you felt it when your most beloved brother left home. So you know something about this pain of separation. But now, all the reactions of my sins and offenses, they have come to me. They have become mature. Because now I have lost you. Before, everyone used to glorify me and say, oh, that's Sachi. Sachi is very, very fortunate. She has such a beautiful son. Nimai. But now what will they say? I think, at least if I would die now, I could become free from the embarrassment of all the public condemnation. People will not even look at me anymore. No one will say my name. They will think, oh, just to think of her or say her name, it may bring auspiciousness in my life, inauspiciousness, like she has in her life. I don't want that I should lose everything just like her. So from now, no one will even say my name. At that time, our Mahaprabhu said to his mother, "Oh mother, this is not true because I am always your son. In every life I am your son. Wherever I go, I am your son. Even in my previous lives I was your son and you were my mother. Everyone is worshipping me. But you are worshipful for me. I worship you. So don't think no one will say your name. If anyone will say Sachisuta, the son of Sachi, then when I hear this at once, myself and all my associates become under the control of that person. Just when they say Sachisuta.
Sachisuta.
If someone joyfully sings Sachinandan, Jai Sachinandan, Jai Sachinandan, then that person becomes filled with all transcendental knowledge and becomes expert in all the Shastras, Veda, Upanishad and Puranas, just by singing Jai Sachinandan. Jai Sachinandan. You see, very soon you will become expert in all Shastras. Mahaprabhu said, if someone just says Sachinandan, Sachinandan, then that person purchases me, I become his property. He said, if someone says Sri Sachi, Sri Sachi, Sri Sachi, then what will happen? His whole life will become successful and that person will personally become a tirtha. He'll become a holy place himself. Everyone will go to visit that person to be purified. Just by saying, Sri Sachi, Sri Sachi, Sri Sachi.
Sri Sachi, Sri Sachi, Sri Sachi.
Very soon you will all become holy tirthas. If someone will just say the name of the place where you live, Navadvip, then that person will get the fruit of realizing the essence of the Vedanta Sutras.
Navadvip.
Navadvip Dham ki! Mahaprabhu said, if someone will say, Sri Sachi, Sri Sachi, Sri Sachi, then I remain completely satisfied with that person for lifetimes and lifetimes. In fact, that person becomes my Guru.
Sri Sachi, Sri Sachi, Sri Sachi.
You see? How much love Mahaprabhu has for his mother. How great is Sachi? If so, Rupa Goswami Pad says, Sada Hridaya Kandare Spuratu Va Sachinandanaha. He ends his verse with Sachinandan because those who chant the name of Sachinandan, Mahaprabhu, he is purchased by that person. He worships that person. He becomes a tirtha. He becomes full of all Shastric knowledge. And Mahaprabhu says, oh, you are my Guru. Just because your relation with Sachimata. So, these are the reasons why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so merciful. And his Lila is so merciful. One thing I want to tell is that Krishna, he is the Vishai of all rasas. That means he's the object of all the rasas. He enjoys the love of everyone. But when Krishna appears as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's not playing in the mood of the Vishai Vigraha. He's playing in the mood of the Ashray Tattva. Not the object of love, but the one who gives love to Krishna. He is Krishna playing the role of Radhika, his own beloved. So he never wants the sense gratification for himself. And therefore, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur explained, because the pastimes of Mahaprabhu are Bhajan Lila, that Krishna is doing Bhajan, that Krishna is playing the role of a devotee, therefore no one should think that he is the lover of the young Brahmin girls in Navadvip. That is called Gauranga Nagari Bhav. There's one of the 13 Apasampradayas or deviant sects is called Gauranga Nagari. If you haven't heard of it, then just wait, you will. Because gradually, one by one, all the Apasampradayas from India, they're slowly making their way to the West and causing confusion here and there. So I know many persons who became confused. And I don't know if it's in America yet. It already arrived in Europe, in Germany, Switzerland, other places. So Gauranga Nagari Bhav means the idea that just as Krishna is the beloved, the lover of the Braja Gopis, so Gauranga in Navadvip is the lover of the young girls of Navadvip. This is so wrong. You should know that Nimai has different stages in his life, just like Krishna has the Balya Lila, baby pastimes, then he has Pauganda Lila, boyhood pastimes, then he has Kishore Lila, those are his adolescent pastimes. In his Balya Lila, baby pastimes, Vatsalya Ras, the love of his mother is prominent, Madhya Yashoda. In the Pauganda Lila, boyhood pastimes, then Sakya Ras, Krishna goes out and plays with his friends. And then when he gets a little older and becomes Kishore, and just before Kishore it begins his Madhurya, romantic pastimes with Braja Gopis. These are the human-like pastimes of Krishna. So in Gaura Lila also has 3 stages, Balya, Pauganda and Kishore. Perhaps you know that Nimai, when he was a boy, he was very naughty. He was very naughty. The young Brahmin girls, they used to come onto the bank of the Ganga. And there they would do puja of Ganges and worship Lord Shiva as well. Because by the worship of Lord Shiva, it's a tradition, then a young girl can get a very handsome, young and wealthy, intelligent husband. So all the young Brahmin girls are there and there's a shivling there and they bring some bananas and bell fruit and other things and incense and deeps for the worship of Mahadev. So the girls would come there to the bank of the Ganges with all their paraphernalia. And then Nimai, he was so naughty. He was terrorizing everyone there at the Ganges. When the Brahmanas would take bath and put on tilak, and then to do their puja, then Nimai, he used to swim in the Ganges and get a mouth of Ganges water and then come out and spit it on the Brahmanas. Hey, what are you doing? I'll tell your father. I was ready to do puja and now I'm contaminated. Yeah. If the Supreme Lord will spit Ganges water on you, you become contaminated. Not possible. But in the Lila, they think he's ordinary boy. Very naughty. When the Brahmanas are in the Ganges, up to their waist, and they're remembering the Gayatri Mantra, there were so many impersonalists meditating on Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi, Om Bo Bo Bahaswa. Like this. Then Nimai, he used to swim under the water and grab them by the legs and pull. So his friends were on the bank and they saw the Brahmanas all standing in the water and they're going under the water one by one. And all his friends are laughing. So Nimai as a boy, he was very naughty. So then the next day when those Brahmanas, they could not remember Brahman because they remember their mantras. Where is that Nimai? How merciful he is. So he was so naughty, he went to the young girls who came to do their puja, and then he just took the flowers and put them in his hair. He grabbed the bananas for the bhog, for the offering, started eating them. He sat on the asan of Lord Shiva. He said, why are you worshipping Ganga? She's my maidservant. Why are you worshipping Mahadev? He's my servant also. You should worship me. So they cover their ears. Oh, Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu. Nimai, what are you saying? This is great blasphemy. We'll tell your mother. Nimai said, you won't say anything. Otherwise, I am a Brahmin, I will give you a curse. That you'll get a husband. But he'll be very old, very angry, very ugly, very poor, and worst thing of all, you have to share him with the 3 co-wives. This is a nightmare. Any woman cannot tolerate. If you make one concrete statue and then tell a woman this is your co-wife, she will take a baseball bat and break it in a moment. So Nimai, he said, oh, you should not do this because I will curse you like this. Then one very young girl came and offered flowers to him and offered arti to him. It was Lakshmi Priya. And later she became his wife. So some people think, just like Krishna used to tease the gopis of Vrindavan and became their beloved. So this happened with Nimai, but not true. Why? This pastime is during Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Pauganda Lila. Not Kishore Lila. Pauganda Lila. When he was a little boy. Very small. When he became a little older, then his behavior was very, very strict. So in Chaitanya Bhagavat, it says there, Eteke audatya prabhu karena kautuke heno nahi yarana chalena nanarupe. As he grew up, then Nimai, he used to make jokes with everyone, and he found fault with others, and no one was spared from his teasing remarks, except for one thing. Sabha parastira prati nahi parihas, stri dekidur prabhu hai nahi kapash. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he never joked with anyone else's wife. And if he saw a woman coming, then he would immediately give room to pass without talking. He was very strict. He would not even allow the name of a woman to enter into his ears. So this is how his maryada was very strong when he became older. And also then when he was married also, he was very strict. So Vaishnavas, they should follow this. Have very careful, follow all etiquette, maryada, all protocol in terms of relation between male and female. Otherwise, the whole atmosphere becomes polluted by Rajagun, the mode of passion. So also Vrindavan Das Thakur said, Eto yeva joto maha mohima sukhale Gauranga nagara eno stava nahi bale Yadyapi sukhala stava sambhaveta hane Tatapi swabhav se gaya bode jane. The meaning is that though Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can be glorified in so many ways, because he's the Supreme Lord, he's unlimited, nothing is impossible for him. But still, Gauranga Nagara Heno Stava Nahi Bale. The learned persons never call Mahaprabhu Gauranga Nagar, the beloved of the girls of Navadvip. It's right there in Chaitanya Bhagavat. Gauranga Naga Heno Stava Nahi Bale. They never say Mahaprabhu is Gauranga Nagar, the beloved of the Gauranga Nagaris. It's impossible. Why? Why is that? Yadyapi sukhala stav sambhave tohane tatapiya swabhava se gai bode jani. Though the Lord can be glorified in unlimited ways, but an intelligent person only glorifies him in terms of his mood in that particular pastime. You see? So if Lord Nrsimhadev appears, you can glorify Lord Nrsimhadev for his qualities. But don't say that Lord Nrsimhadev is a Rasaraj. Right? The enjoyer of Ras Lila. He's not. You can say Tavakara Kamala Varena Kama Bhuta Shringam. But don't say Sriman Nasarasarambi. This is wrong. So in the same way, as you will not glorify Lord Nrsimhadev for doing Ras Lila, don't glorify Mahaprabhu for doing Ras Lila and call him Gauranga Nagar. He's doing Maha Sankirtan Rasa in the mood of a devotee. He's not the enjoyer of the love of his associates in that way. He's in the mood of being the lover, beloved of Krishna. So, intelligent person, tatapi subhava say gaya bodhe jani. The intelligent persons, they glorify each incarnation of the Lord in terms of their particular pastimes. So, we have been discussing how Mahaprabhu, by his own example, he is teaching us how to do bhajan. For example, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was very humble. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he had lobha, he had greed to relish the pastimes of Sri Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had diksha from a very high-class Vaishnava, Sri Ishwarapuri. And even he took sannyas and left everything. So he was humble, he had diksha, he took sannyas, he had greed. But were his three desires fulfilled? Still not fulfilled. Why? Because he needed Braj Rasik Vaishnav Sangha. The association of a very high-class Braj Rasik Vaishnava who was realized in the mood that he wanted to realize himself. And so when he was in Puri and he heard, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya told him, there's one great Vaishnava, I never met anyone like him. He's so absorbed in the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. His name is Roy Ramananda. Then Mahaprabhu, he told everyone in Puri, oh, my brother took sannyas many years ago and he went to South India, so please excuse me, I'm going to South India to find him. But that was an excuse. Really, Mahaprabhu was going to Godavari, the bank of Godavari river in Rajamahendri, because he was searching out Ramananda Rai. Brishah Banudadi Navasashileke Lalita Saki Guna Ramenta Vishanti. What does it mean? Here the word Lalita Saki means Radhika. The friend of Lalita is Radhika. So her gun, her qualities, Ramita Vishaki, are reflected in Vishakha. Lalita Saki herself is Pragalbha, she's very bold. But Radhika is a Madhyanayika. And so is Vishakha. So Vishakha has qualities just like Radhika. In fact, Srimati Radhika and Vishakha Saki are born at exactly the same moment on the same day. Even. And so because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna and he wants to realize the mood of Radhika, he had to go to someone who's in the same mood. Saurabh Damodar was there, but he's the incarnation of Lalita. But he wanted that mood, the Madhyanaika mood of Radhika. So he went and sought out Ramananda Rai on the bank of Godavari. You can see, when Mahaprabhu went to Prayag, there Rup Shiksha, he gave instructions to Rupa Goswami. When he went to Varanasi, Kashi, Mahaprabhu gave instructions to Sanatana Goswami. When he came to the bank of Godavari, who did he give instructions to? No one. He listened. He received instructions from Ramananda Rai. So that's not called Ramananda Shiksha. That is Ramananda Samvad. In Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Mahaprabhu is showing us what we have to do, what we have to go through to progress towards the highest goal in Raganuga Bhakti. You may be humble, you may have greed, you may have diksha, you may take sannyas. Not enough. What is most important? Braj-rasik Vaishnav Sangha. The association of very high class Rasik Vaishnav. So Ramananda Roy was such a person. He was not even sannyasi or anything. But he was more than anyone, Paramahamsa. So, this is called Bhajan Lila. How Mahaprabhu's Lila is, he's doing Bhajan and he's also showing us. Now we come to our second subject of the night. What was the second subject? Just again, who's paying attention? No, looking at your notes does not count. That's cheating. Yes. So, second subject. Gaura Lila is Parisistha Lila. What does Parisistha mean? Parisistha means appendix. Not this appendix. It means like the appendices of a book. If you have a book, then when the book is finished, it's over. But still then the appendix comes. In the appendix, there will be something. Some information which is not in the book, but at the same time it will shed a new light on the book. So in the same way, Gaura Lila is not another book than Krishna Lila. Gaura Lila is Krishna Lila, same book. But when Krishna Lila is over, now Gaura Lila comes, it is Parisistha, the appendix of Krishna Lila. There's something in Gaura Lila which is not there in Krishna Lila, and also that appendix, Gaura Lila, will shed a new light on Krishna Lila as if you have never seen it before. And therefore it's called Parisistha Lila. You see, in the Rasa Lila, after Krishna disappeared, then he came back again. Then the gopis, they put down an asan of their own anchals. They took off their anchals, which was smeared with their tears and kajal and kumkum. Very fragrant. Put it on the ground and invited Krishna to take his seat, because now the court is in session. Krishna is on trial now. Gopis posed the question, oh Krishna, what kind of lover are you? There are three types, which one are you? So in the end, see, Krishna admitted to gopis. He confessed his guilt. Na parayam niravadya samyujam swasadu krityam vibhushaya strapiva ya ma bhajan durjaya geya sinkala samrishtadva pratiyatu sadhana. Oh my dear Gopigan, I cannot repay you for your love. Even if I were to serve you for thousands of years for the life of Lord Brahma, I could not repay even one of your services. So Yamabhajan Durjaya Geya Sankala, you broke the shackles of household life, which are very difficult to break, only for my happiness. So just be satisfied with your own sadhuta, your own liberalness. That means that the gopis' love is pure, perfect, it has no conditions, and cannot be obstructed by anything at all. So what is the reward for having such love? The reward for having such love is having such love. Because any reward is to make you happy. But this love is the highest ananda, paramananda. So the reward for such love is to be the abode of that love. So Krishna said, may you be satisfied by your own qualities. I cannot repay you. What to speak of repay my debt to you? That debt is growing every day with so much interest. I cannot even keep up the payments on the interest, let alone the original amount. So please be satisfied with your own good qualities. But this verse has another meaning. Samrishyatadva pratiyatu sadhuna. O gopis, I will try to repay you when I become a sadhu. That means Krishna will appear as a sadhu, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then he will try to reciprocate. Oh gopis, as you shed an ocean of tears in separation from me, I will also shed an ocean of tears. As you left your family and all your loved ones for me, I will also leave my family and all my loved ones for you. And you are many, and I am only one. How can I repay you? So I will go everywhere and I'll collect everyone and I'll make them all become Radha Dasi, your maidservants. And together we'll serve you. So in this way, Gaura Lila is Parisistha Lila. The Krishna said, Yayatamam prapadyante tangstataiva bhajam. I reciprocate with everyone. But in Krishna Lila, he could not, he failed. And so to complete the Lila, he became Gaur Sundar. And he's performing the pastimes of trying to repay Radhika's Prem. And all of you, you're all part of that repayment. You're all, Krishna is paying Radhika in installments. There's one installment, another installment, another installment. You're all the installments of the repayment. How glorious is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? So Gaura Lila is Parisistha Lila. Now, you know that Gaura Lila takes place in Navadvip. Afterwards he goes to Puri. And we have just heard how he went to South India, met with Ramananda Rai on the bank of Godavari. And Ramananda Rai saw Rasaraj Mahabhav Swarup. How Mahaprabhu was Radha and Krishna themselves. So question comes, which dham is the highest? Where is the highest dham? Of these three, which is highest? What do you think? Many persons, they think that the pastimes in Gambhira, in Puri, are the highest Lila. Because in the flow of the Prakat Lila in this world, Mahaprabhu is trying to realize his three desires, but it was not fulfilled. So then he took sannyas, he went to Puri and South India, and then in the end of his pastimes, he was relishing the separation moods of Radhika in the Gambhira. And so there is the highest pastimes. So it is true that in the Prakat Lila, here in this world, Mahaprabhu goes through stages, and his prem is going higher and higher and higher. And in the end, in the Gambhira, in the last chapter of Chaitanya Charitamrita, then he gives Shikshastakam. Yugayatam nimeshena chakshusha pravrishayatam sunyayatam jagat sarva govinda virahina me aslisya va padaratam nashtum adarshanam mamahatam karutova yatha tadava vivatatu lampato mat prananatastu saivanapura. Try to learn Shikshastakam. You know, Krishna came and spoke Bhagavad Gita, 700 verses. Very difficult to learn 700 verses. But Mahaprabhu was so merciful, he came only give 8 verses. Shikshastakam. Try to learn it. All the feelings of Mahaprabhu are expressed there. And this teaching he gave in the Gambhira, in his Antya-lila. So, there's a progress in his bhav, goes higher and higher in his lila, which he shows to the world. But the fact is that the Nitya Lila of Mahaprabhu takes place in Navadvip. We don't worship Mahaprabhu in sannyasi form. Have you seen? Did you go to any mutt? And there's Radhakrishnan standing next to Radhakrishna's Mahaprabhu with the shaved head? No, you have never seen. We worship Mahaprabhu in his Sachinandan, Nimai Pandit, Nimai of Nadia, Vishwambar Mishra, in his Grihastha Lila in Navadvip, because that is his eternal Swarup. Just like Krishna never leaves Vrindavan, so in the same time, actually Chaitanya Mahaprabhu never leaves Navadvip. But when he comes into this world, he has the pastime of taking sannyas to give a teaching to us, to show us the path of bhajan by his own example, and to break the hearts of all the Navadvip Vasis and of all his devotees by putting them in separation mood. So, how can we understand this? So in this regard, my Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj, he gave very beautiful teaching. He said once, Narad Muni, he asked a question to Sadashiv. He said that if Krishna doesn't leave Vrindavan, that Krishna who leaves and goes to Mathura is Vasudev Krishna. Vasudev Krishna. Then how is Radharani crying in separation from Vasudev Krishna? That is Krishna's expansion. How is it possible? So in reply, Lord Shiva said, Shakti samyogini kama, Bama Shakti viyogini, Ladini kirtida putri, Chaivam Radha Trayam Braje. The meaning is that just as Krishna has his original form and he has his expansions like Mathuresh Krishna and Dwarkadish Krishna, so also Radharani has her original form and Radhika also has her expansions. So first of all, the original complete Ladini Shakti is called Kirtida Putri, the daughter of Kirtidamaya and Vrishabhanu Maharaj, Vrishabhanu Nandini. In Braja, Mama Praneshwara Krishna Chakva Brinjam Kuchit, and she thinks my beloved is Krishna and he never leaves Vrindavan. Then, when Krishna apparently leaves and Akrura takes him to Mathura, at that time, that Radharani who's left behind and weeping, she's the expansion of the original Radhika, she's called Viyogini. So, the original one is Ladini, then the Radhika who is left behind and crying in separation is named Viyogini, in separation. And then, perhaps you know, after Krishna was in Mathura and Dwarka, after some time he went at the time of the Surya Grahan, solar eclipse, to Kurukshetra. And Radhika and the Brijbasis set out on bullock carts and they went all the way to Kurukshetra, and Radha Krishna met there at Kurukshetra, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu relished, remembering that pastime during the Rath Yatra Mahotsav of Lord Jagannath. So that Radhika who goes and meets with Krishna in Kurukshetra, she is called Samyogini. She is the Samyogini Prakash, the third expansion of Radhika. So there's the original Radhika who's always with Krishna in Vrindavan. Then in this world when Krishna leaves, that is her expansion crying in separation, Viyogini. And the Radhika, the form that, because Radhika also never leaves Vrindavan, so her form that goes to Kurukshetra, that is called Samyogini, Radhika. So Gurudev said, in the same way, when we look at the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in the mood of Radhika, we have to see Gaura Lila in terms of those manifestations of Radhika. So, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in Navadvip Dham, he's in the mood of Ladini, Vrishabhanu Nandini. Understand? When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu goes to Puri and he's in the Gambhira and crying there, Radhikara Bhava Jaiche Uddhava Darshane Sei Bhava Matu Prabhu Rohira Tridine. Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami Pad said, in the Gambhira, Mahaprabhu was in a madness of separation, just like Radhika when Uddhav came to Vrindavan. Krishna in Mathura sent Uddhav. And when Uddhav saw Radhika then, speaking with the bumblebee, that's the mood of Mahaprabhu in the Gambhira. So, that is Viyogini Radha. And when Mahaprabhu leaves Puri and goes to South India and meets with Ramananda Rai, then that is the Bhav of Samyogini Radha there. And it sometimes manifests in Puri at the time of Rath Yatra. Like this. So there are three aspects of Radhika, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his three parts of his Lila is in the mood of those. But the original is Vrishabhanu Nandini, Ladini Shakti in Navadvip. So in her all moods are included. So there's one place in Navadvip, Saradanga in Samantadvip. It is non-different from Jagannath Puri. And all the holy places and all the holy rivers, including Godavari, are also included in Navadvip. So Navadvip is the highest of all dhams. Therefore in Navadvip Shatakam, Srila Prabodhananda Sarada Thakur says, Vanam Chopa Vanam Sarvam Srimad Vrindavana Stitham Krodikritam Navadvipe Krishna Lila Susiddhaye. Banam Chopavanam Sarvam. That means all the forests of Brajmandal, 12 forests of Braja. Madhuvan, Talvan, Bahulavan, Kamyavan, Kelanvan, Kadirvan, Pandirvan, Belvan, Bhadravan, Mahavan, all forests of Braja, and Upavan, all the 12 sub-forests of Vrindavan. Krodi Kritam Navadvipe, Navadvipa has taken all 12 forests and sub-forests in her lap. So all those forests are there in Navadvip also. And then Krishna Lila Susiddhaye, by Navadvip Dham embracing all the places of Krishna's pastimes, then Krishna Lila Susiddhaye means Krishna Lila was Siddh, perfect. But when Krishna appeared in Navadvip, then Krishna Lila Susiddh became most perfect. So now we're coming to our final subject of the evening. Sit up straight. Yes. Take a deep breath. Very good. Don't sleep. Now what is the final discussion of the evening subject? Udbhodhaka Lila, yes. Good. Udbhodhaka Lila means that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes, when you remember them, they awaken the realization of Krishna's pastimes. Krishna's pastimes are very difficult. Yo Brahma, Rudra, Sukanarda, Bhishma, Mukshay, Alakshitana, Sahasa, Purushasya, Tasya, Brahma, Shiva, Rudra, Shuka, the 12 Mahajans, the 4 Kumaras, the Navayogendras. Krishna is invisible to them. It's very difficult for them to see his Vrindavan Lila. But Gaura Lila is so wonderful that simply by appreciating the qualities of Gaura, Gauranga Gunete Jure Nitya Lila Taraspure Se Janabhakati Adhikari. When one appreciates Gauranga Lila, then the Nitya Lila of Radha Krishna comes as a spurti, manifestation in the heart. And that person receives Bhakti Adhikari, the eligibility for Braja Bhakti. Therefore it's called Udbhodhaka Lila. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Pad said, Krishna Lila Amrita Saro Tara Shata Shata Daro Dasati Kehi Mohi Jahoi Te Say Chaitanya Lila Hoi Sarovara Akshay Manohanso Charatahate Manohansa Charatahate. This is very gambhir revelation of Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. He's saying Krishna Lila is Amrita Sadhan, essence of all nectar, and it is flowing in hundreds and hundreds of streams in all different directions. Tara Shata Shata Da means hundreds and hundreds of streams of Krishna Lila are flowing, Dasadike, in 10 directions everywhere. So the question comes, if all these streams are flowing, they must come from somewhere. Where is that? Say Chaitanya Lila Hoy, Saravara Akshay. There is an unlimited, inexhaustible Akshay, Sarovar, lake. And that unlimited, inexhaustible lake from which thousands of currents of Krishna Lila are flowing, that is called Chaitanya Lila. Manohansa Charahatahate, oh my dear mind, just become like a swan gliding on the lake of Krishna Lila, of Gaura Lila. So by becoming a swan, if our mind will become a swan, floating on the lake of Gaura Lila, then one will have the experience of thousands and thousands of streams of Radha Krishna Lila. And therefore, it is called Udbhodhaka Lila. So we give some examples. Perhaps you know that when Nimai was in Navadvip, before Nityananda Prabhu came, one day he was sitting with his associates and he said, "Oh, last night I had a dream. I saw one big golden chariot and it had a flag on the top, and the flag was marked with the emblem of a palm tree. Riding on that chariot was a very strong person, looked like a wrestler. Very strong. He was wearing a blue cloth and an earring in one ear, and he was carrying a plow over his shoulder. He had a fair complexion and beautiful lotus eyes. And he was riding on the chariot, and the chariot stopped outside my house. And he was calling out, 'Where is Nimai Pandit? Is this the house of Nimai Pandit? Is this the house of Nimai Pandit?' Hearing this sound, I came outside and I said to him in my dream, 'Oh, I am Nimai Pandit.' And then that person, very strong and handsome person, jumped down from the chariot and he said, 'Oh, I am your brother and tomorrow we will meet.' And then I woke up. So Nimai said, 'I thought that, what a wonderful dream. It must mean that a great personality has come to Navadvip.' So, Srivas, Haridas, go and look, see if you can find if a great person has come to Navadvip. So they went everywhere, looking. After a long time they came back. We could not find any new great Mahatma has arrived in Navadvip. But Mahaprabhu, being Supreme Lord and knowing everything, he just got up and he left from the house of Jagannath Mishra and he made a left and he went along the Ganga to the garden of Nandanacharya. Have you been there? Nandanacharya Bhavan. Yes, everyone, you have to come. Come for Navadvip Dham Parikrama very soon. So there, Nityananda Prabhu was sitting in meditation in the garden of Nandanacharya. And Mahaprabhu came with all of his associates and bowed down. And then as the fragrance of Mahaprabhu entered into the nostrils of Nityananda Prabhu, he opened his eyes and stood up and saw Krishna and Balaram. In this Prakat Lila, they had not seen each other for 4,500 years here. So Nityananda Prabhu saw, Kanai, Kanai. Mahaprabhu said, Balai, Balai. Kanai, Kanai, Balai, Balai. And they embraced each other. And they fainted in ecstasy. So after some time, Mahaprabhu, he woke up and he was holding Nityananda Prabhu in his arms. And he told to Srivas Thakur, sing a verse. So then Srivas Thakur began to sing, Bahapidam natavarvapu karnayo kanikaram Bibrat basa kanaka kapisham vajayantim tumalam Randran veno adhar sudaya puryan gopa brinde Prandaranyam sopadaramanam pravisad gita kirtihi. Describing the beauty of Krishna in the morning time when he's with Balaram and all the cowherd boys and all their cows. He's decorated with a peacock feather with a garland of 5 types of colored flowers by Jantim Chamalan. He's very beautiful. And he's surrounded by his friends. And he plays on his flutes and his friends are singing and glorifying him as he walks into the forest, leaving behind very charming, beautiful footprints. Gopis, they were seeing this. So as Srivas Thakur sang this verse, then everyone began to have the vision of Krishna leaving the Nandagown in the morning and going to the forests. And everyone was dancing in ecstasy in Kirtan. So Gaura Lila is Udbhodhaka Lila. It awakens the visions of Krishna Lila. One day, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, tomorrow we will make a drama in my uncle's house. Do you know Chandrasekhar Acharya? So Chandrasekhar Bhavani is just very close, in the opposite direction to the house of Nandan Acharya. And that is where Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur did his Naam Bhajan, chanting 3 lakhs Harinam every day, 192 rounds every day for 10 years. And his Samadhi is there also. It became the Mool Mat of all the Gaudiya Maths. But that place is very, very important. At the time of Mahaprabhu's pastimes, that is called Chandrasekhar Bhavan. It is the Mahaprabhu's uncle. And actually when Jagannath Mishra passed away, then Chandrasekhar became like his father. He took care of Nimai. So Mahaprabhu and Chandrasekhar Acharya are very, very close. So Mahaprabhu said, tomorrow we'll make a drama in the house of Chandrasekhar. Only persons who have complete control over their mind and senses will be allowed to attend that drama. So then Advaita Acharya said, oh well, that counts me out, I can't go. Because Advaita Acharya remembered his pastime, he's the incarnation of Lord Shiva. So perhaps you know that once the Supreme Lord appeared in the form of Mohini Murti, and then what happened to Lord Shiva?
Chased her all over the
Yes, yes. Lord Shiva became mad, he was running, his tiger skin fell off, he dropped his damaru, he dropped his trishul, and like a mad person, he was running after Mohini Murti. All the Shivites in the forest were meditating, Om Namaha Shivaya. And then they saw Lord Shiva naked, running after a woman. What's going on? So Advaita Acharya was thinking, no, I cannot go to this drama. I remember last time I saw Supreme Lord doing a drama playing the role of a woman. What happened to me? I'm not going. Srivas Thakur said, well, you can count me out as well. I'm not qualified to go. Why? He's the incarnation of Narada Muni. Do you remember the pastime of Narada Muni? He thought, oh, I have conquered Cupid. Because I don't tell it to anyone. Then the next moment he went to one palace of a king and he saw a beautiful princess. And she was having a swayamvar, selection of the bridegroom to become who will be your husband. So then Narad was thinking, oh. And he went to Krishna and said, oh please give me, I never asked you for anything anymore. Everywhere, my whole life I have practiced and I have preached Anya Bilasta Shunyam, no desires. But today I just want one thing. Give me a very beautiful face. The most beautiful, charming, handsome face. Why? Because then in the Swayamvar the princess will select him. So Krishna said, Mangalam Bhavatu. He didn't say yes. He said, Mangalam Bhavatu. May I bless you with auspiciousness. So then Narad went there and he stood in the line of princes. And the princess was looking one after another and got to him. He thought, okay, now she's going to pick me for sure. But she just walked past. She went past the next prince, the next one. He thought, oh, she must have been not paying attention. So he's so shameless. He got out of the queue and he joined the queue further down to have another second attempt. All the other princes were, who is this shameless person? They were laughing at him. But she went past him. So then, just then, the Supreme Lord came into that assembly and she took a garland and gave to him. Narad became furious. Ah, you wanted her for yourself. And then he looked in one fountain. There was a jewel fountain and he looked and he saw that the Bhagavan had given him the face of a monkey. So then he became furious. Oh, you tricked me because you want to enjoy her yourself. I curse you. That your wife will leave you. And then the next moment, everything disappeared and the Supreme Lord was there and that princess was Lakshmi. Actually. And Supreme Lord is very humble. He said, I accept your curse. And so then in the pastimes of Sita Ram, then Sita had to go to the forest and leave him because of this. So Srivas Thakur is the incarnation of Narad. So when Mahaprabhu said, no, only the persons who control their senses can come in this drama, Advaita Acharya said, that counts me out. Srivas Thakur said, I'm also not qualified, I can't go. But Mahaprabhu so mercifully said, you don't worry. I am blessing you that you'll be qualified for this. So get ready, collect all the costumes, collect all the makeup, the instruments, make the stage in Chandrasekhar Bhavan, and we'll meet there tomorrow. Nityananda Prabhu, you will play the role of Yogamaya. Shivas, you will play the role of Narad. Very easy for him to play this role. Oh, Gadada, you play the role of Lalita. Advaitacharya, you can play the role of Krishna. And Mahaprabhu said, I will play the role of Radhika. So then the next day, they all got together and the stage was ready. Sachimata and all the associates of Mahaprabhu, they came and they sat down in the theatre. Then the lights went down and the curtain rose. And Srivas Thakur entered the stage. Sachimata looked, it's Narad Muni. Srivas Thakur's wife, it's Narad Muni. And she didn't even recognize her own husband. He was exactly Narad Muni. And Narad Muni came on the stage and said, how glorious is this Vrindavan. Vrindavan is such a place. Tadburi bhagyamiha jamma kimapyathavyam yad gokulepi katamambara jobhishekam yats jivitam tu bhagavan nikalamakundas tadyapi yappada rajat sutimrigyameva. It's such a place that even Lord Brahma, the highest being in the universe, he has prayed, it would be a matter of great fortune for me if in some future life I could become just a blade of grass or even a stone in Vrindavan. Not even in Vrindavan, on the other side of the river in Gokul. If I could become a stone there, this would be great fortune to me. Because the Brijbasis, Krishna is their life and soul, he's their pran. That means Krishna is living in the pran, in the senses of all Brijbasis. With folded hands asking, how can I serve you? How great they are. All the Vedas are searching only for the foot dust of that Krishna of Vrindavan. How wonderful is this place. And then as Narad Muni was wandering on the stage of Vrindavan, he heard the sound of a flute. Madhurima rasabapi mattahansi prajalpa pranaya kusumavapi bringa sangita gosha surata samara peri pankriti putanare jayati hridaya dangsi kopi bangsi ninadaha. When Narad heard the sound of the flute, he was carried away on the waves of joy. He said, what is this? Madhurinama rasavapi matahangsi prajalpa. This flute song sounds so happy. It sounds like the warbling of swans who have arrived at a lake of nectar. You know, the swans, they fly for thousands of miles to go to the Manasarovar in the Himalayas. And when they arrive there, they're so happy. But he said, this sound of the flute is so joyful. It sounds like intoxicated swans. They flew for thousands of miles and then they landed on a lake of Amrita. Pure sweet nectar. The sound of this flute is so joyful. Pranaya kusumavapi. Bring the sangeet to Gosha. You know, when a bumblebee can pick up the fragrance of a garden full of flowers, then he becomes so excited and immediately flies there. So he said, this sound of Krishna's flute is so exciting, so wonderful. It seems to be like the humming of intoxicated bees who have landed in a garden of flowers made of Prem. Surata samara peri bankriti putanare. And this sound of the flute, it is like the beating of kettle drums that takes place before a battle. You know, when the armies assemble, before the battle takes place, everyone is very ready for the battle, and first they beat the kettle drums, war drums. So in the same way, the sound of Krishna's flute is like the beating of the drums of war for the Surata Samara. That means the love battle of Radha and Krishna in the Kunjas of Vrindavan. When all the gopis assemble for Rasa Lila, then they will afterwards go in the Kunjas, there will be a love battle, and this flute is the beating of kettle drum to announce this battle will take place. So Narad was very ecstatic. He saw, oh look, in the valley of Govardhan, all the trees are bursting into blossom. The ashok trees are bursting into blossom. The mango trees are bursting into blossom. The bakul trees are bursting into blossom. Why? Because Krishna is on the top of Govardhan and playing his flute. And the gopis are passing beneath in the valley of Govardhan. So we have heard that when Krishna plays his flute, all the trees burst into blossom. But there's some secret behind this. Shastra says that if a beautiful chaste lady touches the ashok tree with her foot, then it bursts into blossom. If a beautiful chaste lady will embrace a mango tree, it will burst into blossom. And if some saliva of a beautiful woman will touch a bakul tree, it will burst into blossom. So the meaning is that when the forest became full of flowers, it means that under the cover of those trees, when Krishna played his flute, the gopis were so overwhelmed with praying they could not stand up. So one gopi embraced a bakul tree, and by the touch of her foot it blossomed. One gopi embraced a mango tree. By the touch of her arms, it blossomed. One gopi held onto a tree, and she was drooling. You know, it's one ecstatic symptom. She was drooling and the saliva was dripping from her mouth when she was dreaming of Krishna while hearing the flute. And when her saliva touched the bakul tree, it burst into blossom. In this way, Krishna, he came down from Govardhan and he wanted to check the gopis. What is this Lila? Do you know what this Lila is called? The Lila that Mahaprabhu enacted in Chandrasekhar Bhavan is called Dan Kali Lila, the pastime of tax. One day, it so happened that Bhaguri Rishi was performing a jagya, fire sacrifice at Govinda Kund at one end of Govardhan Hill. And Purnamasi Devi said, if any young lady will take some ghee for the jagya of Bhaguri Rishi, then all their desires will become fulfilled. So Radhika, she's a princess. She was walking in the hot sun very, very far, carrying a big pot of ghee on her head. She doesn't need to do that. She's a princess. She had so many maidservants. Why does she have to carry the pot personally? But the reason is, she has a desire. I want to meet with Krishna and please Krishna. And that's why Radhika, though she's a princess, she's carrying the pot of ghee on her head. Because she thinks, oh, this desire will be fulfilled if I bring the ghee to the jagya of Bhaguri Rishi. Now another thing, she's thinking, as I'm going past the Govardhan on the way there, perhaps I'll meet with Krishna. And if I meet with Krishna, we'll have some discussion and some pastimes together. So then I'll be late for the yajna. So she's very, very clever. She gave some ghee to her maidservants and sent them ahead, like 25 minutes before, ahead. So if on the way she gets stopped by Krishna, at least the jaggi will not be delayed. They'll have some ghee to start with, and when she gets there, she will add to that ghee. So it's very funny that Radhika, on the one hand, she always pretends like, oh, be careful, don't go there. That notorious boy may be there. But actually everything that she's doing is only to go and meet with him. But she's denying it to everyone, outwardly. Because this is the nature of love. Premadvayo, rasikayo, aidipa eva, ridveshva basi atinishtala eva bhati. It is said that prem is like a flame of a candle burning in the heart. It shines out through the face, it shines out through the eyes, but it's not expressed. So Braj Gopis, they have intense love for Krishna, but they always hide it. They're always cheating, they're always lying. This is the ragatmik paripati, the nature of the love of Vrindavan. First thing, chal. Everyone there in Vrindavan is lying and cheating. Second thing, apahas. Ridiculing each other, criticizing each other. But it's for joke, it's a joke. And third, sparda, always competing. So because love is very intense, the heart wants to say, I love you. But because it's so intense, the pure love, it cannot be expressed. So it comes out in the form of criticism, teasing, competing. And all of Krishna's Lila is like this. So this Dan Kali, when Sri Krishna comes to tell Radhika, oh, where are you going with all these valuable things? This is the kingdom of Kamadev Cupid, and he has appointed me as the tax inspector there. So you have to pay me a tax. If you cannot pay me the tax, then you will have to have a very private meeting with me inside this kunj, and we'll discuss some alternative arrangements. So Krishna, he wants to express I love you, Radhika wants to express it, but they don't. They come together and immediately the prem comes out in the form of arguing with each other. This is the ragatmik paripati, actually. Until a devotee comes in the stage of ruchi, he cannot feel it. Nana vikshepavati rucha bhavena ragatmik bhakti shailim nabijanati. But when ruchi comes and the mind is no longer distracted by anything, then devotee feels the intense sweetness, overflowing of this prem of Vrindavan. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu manifested it on the stage of Chandrasekhar at Chandrasekhar Bhavan. When Krishna approached Radharani, then Radharani is so overjoyed. She's so happy, but she pretends she's upset. Please step aside. Don't obstruct me. Get out of my way. Because you are very crooked. You are like Vakrashra. Vakrashra means one form of Lord Shiva, Vakrashra. Radharani said you are crooked in 3 places. Do you know where Krishna is crooked in 3 places? Krishna is crooked, you are crooked in 3 places. You are crooked in the past, the present and the future. So you should get out of my way, Vakrashra. Then, because they're always competing, the prem is such that they're always competing and teasing each other. Krishna said, if you are Vakrashra, if I am Vakrashra, then you are Astavakra. You know, Astavakra Rishi. If I am Vakrashra, crooked in 3 places, you are Astavakra Rishi, you are crooked in 8 places. Vachi, kache, bruvi, dristo, smite, prayane, avaguntane, ridicha. Oh Radhika, you are Astavakra, crooked in 3 places. First of all, Vachi, your words are crooked. Because even though she's saying, oh, be out of my way, why is she carrying this pot on her head? Why did she send her maidservants ahead? Just so that she could be delayed and quarrel with Krishna. For this reason. So, Vachi, your words are crooked. Kache, your hair is crooked. Radhika has a braid, but when the braid comes open, her hair is like a big mass of curls. So, Kache, Bruvi, your eyebrows are crooked. She has very big, long eyebrows, and when she looks at Krishna with disapproval, then she lifts up her eyebrows and it becomes very curved like the bows of Cupid. So Vache, Kache, Bruvi, Dristo. Your glance is also crooked. Because if someone has love and attraction, they never look at you directly. A very simple, pure person will look directly. But if someone has attraction, they'll Kataksh. Because the waves in the heart are making the eyes go like Kanjan Pakshi, like wagtail birds here and there. So your glance is your dristo, your glance is crooked. Smite, your smile is always crooked, right? You cannot smile with a straight mouth. So your smile is crooked. And Prayane, the way that you walk is crooked. Because Radhika is Gajagamini. Nakaru nitambani gamana balambana. She has very big hips. So when she walks, have you seen an elephant? When an elephant walks, it takes 1 step and the whole body swings this way. Then it takes another step and the body swings this way. And then another, like that. So Radhika has very big hips, so when she walks, like this. So Prayani, the way you walk is crooked. Avaguntane, your veil is also crooked. Have you seen in the painting of Seva Kunj how she's holding the veil like this? She's trying to cover herself and also peep at the same time. So your veil is crooked. And that's 7 crookedness. Now 8th one, Riditcha. And your heart is crooked. Why? Aheri vagati premna svabhava kutila bhavat. Prem moves like a snake. If a snake wants to go in this direction, his head goes that direction, and then this direction. The snake goes like this. So your heart is like that, very crooked. So by these words, Radha and Krishna, they're relishing prema rasa, teasing each other. The meaning is that person whose eyebrow is crooked, whose glance is crooked, whose hair is crooked, the way they walk is crooked, it means you are very beautiful. But because of the nature of Prem, Krishna cannot say, you are very beautiful. So he says it in a crooked way. Huh? Understand? This is the Ragatmik Shaili, Ragatmik Paripati, the nature of Prem. And it also has another meaning. The meaning is this: Astavakta Rishi is a Siddha yogi. He's a perfect yogi. Do you know how Astavakta Rishi became a Siddha yogi? By worshipping Lord Shiva, the form of Lord Shiva called Vakrashva. So because Radharani said, you are Vakrashva, so Krishna said, oh, if I am Vakrashva, you are Astavakta Rishi. So the hint of his words means, Radhika, if you want to make your life perfect and become Siddha, you should worship me. So Krishna's words are very clever. It may be that when I said it, you didn't understand. But Radhika is Rasik. So when she heard Krishna's words, Krishna is so clever. How he speaks. Very, very charming. So then Krishna said, look, if you won't pay the tax to me, then you should come and meet with me. We'll have a discussion in my office here, this very beautiful Nikunj. Full of honeybees and beautiful flowers. Come to my office. Then Radhika became silent. No answer. No answer at all. So then Krishna said, you have no west, you have no east, you have no south, so how can you have north? So, you cannot understand, but if you hear it in Sanskrit, it's very beautiful. He's saying, Aravinda Risham Apastima, Tvama Purva Bahurupa Lilaya, Kapatut Gatanad Adakshina, Na Katham Bhavatas. The meaning is, Aravinda Risham, oh lotus-eyed girl, Apastima, you have no west. But Paschim means less, and Apastim means not less. Oh Radhika, your eyes are not less beautiful. That means they are more beautiful than all the other gopis in Vrindavan. So he's saying, Aravinda Rishama Pastima, oh Radhika, your eyes are more beautiful than all the lotus-eyed girls in Vrindavan. But the other meaning is, you have no west. No western direction. Tvama Purva Bahurupa Lila. And your pastimes, they are apurva. Purva means east. Right? So you have no east. But apurva, the double meaning is, apurva means unprecedented. Your pastimes and your beauty are unprecedented. And the other meaning, you have no east. Kapatut gatanad adakshina. By your crookedness, you're being adakshina. That means very contrary. You're not dakshin, submissive. But dakshin means south, right? So you have no south, but the other meaning is, oh, by your crookedness you are revealing how you are very contrary. So, Nakatam Bhavatasya Uttara. Uttara means north. So he said, you have no west, you have no east, you have no south, so it's not a surprise that you have no north. The word Uttara means north, but it also means answer. Give an answer. So he said, Bhavatasya Uttara. You don't give an answer, it's not surprising. Because Uttar means also north. So in this way, Krishna is speaking just pure nectar, very clever, very poetic, very romantic. How can Radharani resist him? But Lalita Sakhi is there. Durte Brajenda Taneye Tanushushto Bhamyam. But this son of Nandaraj is a rogue. Become very contrary to him. And then Radhika is very contrary to Krishna. Why? Because she is Sakhi Pranayita Vashaha. She's under the control of the love of her Sakhis. Actually, without Sakhis, Radha Krishna Lila cannot go on. Lalita and Vishaka are always telling her what to do. Now be nice to him, now be mean to him, now. And she just changes her mood according to the suggestion of her friends. Now rest. Durbai Sava Shitilata Abapuni Kelo Ai. In Brajbas it said, after the Radha Krishna dance together, they become tired, they rest. Then when the Sakhis say, Durbai Sava Shitilata, now your tiredness has all gone away. Abapuni Kelo Ai. Now it's time to play again. And Radha Krishna play again. How they're controlled by the love of their Sakhis. So beautiful. So then, Krishna, he tried to touch Radharani. And as he touched her, Garava Abhilasa Rudita Smita Suyabaya Kudam Sankari Karanam Hashad Uchate Kila Kinchitam. When when Krishna tried to touch Radhika, then she's pulling away from him. And at that time, she has 7 emotions, all at the same time. On the basis of harsha, if you want to make some sherbet, then you need the base, water. And then for this you add some lemon, some sugar, little black pepper, some camphor, and you mix it and it becomes very delicious. So in the same way, the base of Radhika's feeling is harsha. Jubilation, she's so happy. But outwardly, what does she show? Mixed with this, garva, she's proud. Abhilas, she has so many ambitions. Rudita, her eyes are crying but her mouth is smiling. Crying and smiling at the same time. Garva, Abhilasa, Rudita, Smita, Asuya, she's showing hostility to Krishna. Bhai, she has fear that someone may come and see them there. Kurdam, she's becoming angry with him. And all these emotions are mixed together in the ocean of her joy. This is called Kila Kinchit Bhav. And this is why Krishna is trying to touch her by force. Because he wants to see this mood. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj says, Ei bhava yukti deke radhasya nayan sangamahite sukapai koti gun. If Krishna will meet alone with Radhika and unite with her in a kunj, then he feels great happiness. But when Krishna sees Radhika's face light up with all these mixed emotions, Kila Kinchit means it's like a bouquet of emotions. You see, here's a bouquet of flowers, not one flower, many different types of flowers. So when her face lights up with a bouquet of many emotions at the same time, then Krishna experiences Koti Sukapai, 10 million times more happiness only seeing that look on her face than when he meets with her alone in Nikunj. This is Dan Kali Lila. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he began to manifest such prem, such love of Braja, so sweet and at the same time so crooked. No one had ever heard of anything like this before. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu played it and manifested it in Chandrasekhar Bhavan in Gaura Lila. If someone will remember this drama, then the pastimes of Radha Krishna meeting in this way and laughing, joking, teasing each other at Govardhan will manifest in their heart. That's why it's called Udbhodhaka Lila. By the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it came in the heart of Rupa Goswami and he wrote Dan Kali Gomadi. All this poetry I'm speaking, it's actually from Rupa Goswami. But it came in his heart, why? Because Gaura Lila is Udbhodhaka Lila. It awakens the realization of Radha Krishna's pastimes. You know, every night, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, where does he go at night time? Srivasangan. The doors are closed and only the very high level pure devotees, they go inside Srivas Angan, and there they start the Maha Sankirtan. This Maha Sankirtan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is what? It is Radha Krishna's Maha Rasalila going on. When all the gopis came to meet with Krishna in the Rasalila, Upagiyamana Udgayan Banita Shatayutapa Malam Bidbrad Vaijantim Vyasaram Mandanam Banam. They came on the very beautiful silver sand of the banks of Jamuna, which was shining like camphor in the rays of the moon. See, Krishna is wearing a beautiful garland of Vaijayanti flowers and he is surrounded by thousands, Shatayutapa, many groups of gopis, Radhika's group, Chandravali's group, Shamala's group. And they're singing. Upagiyamana Udgayan means first Krishna is singing and then the gopis are singing. This is the origin of Samaj Gayan. Why do devotees come together and play Mridanga and Kartas and one person sings, then the other one sings, and then another sings, then the other one sings? Where does it come from? It comes from the Rasalila of Radha and Krishna. Krishna singing. Yamini Krita Ruchi Suchikantis Chandrikavali Vipavikatashri Satpadali Lalita Kalagita Pasyabati Kumuda Karaisha. And gopis then they're replying, Kamini Krita Ruchi Suchikantis Chandrikavali Vipavikatashri Satpadali Lalita Kalagita Tasya bhaji kumuda karaish. Then Krishna singing, then gopis are singing. But it's so beautiful. Krishna said, Yamini kritaruchi suchikantis. This night is so beautiful. The whole forest is illuminated by the gentle rays of the moon. And here is a crystal clear, pure lake. And in the lake, kumud flowers are blossoming by the influence of the rays of the moon. And the bumblebees, Shatpadali, means the six-legged ones, the bumblebees, they're flying here and then humming. When gopis hear this, because they're absorbed in praying for Krishna, they only hear Krishna's glories everywhere. So when they reply, they don't reply the same as what Krishna said exactly. They change it. They don't say, Yamini krita ruti. They say, Kamini krita ruti shuchikantis. Oh, Krishna is so desirable. His effulgence is making the forest so beautiful. They don't say, Shatpadali lalita kaligita. The bumblebees are singing Shatpadali. They say, Satpadali. That means Krishna is composing perfect poetry. So in this way, Krishna is singing, gopis are singing. This is the origin of kirtan, full of praying. Gopis are dancing in the Rasalila. Padanyasa, Bhuja vibhutibi, Sasmita bhru vilasai, Bhajan madhyais chalkut patayi, Kundala gandalolai, Sudyan mukya khabar rasana, Grantya krishna bhadvo, Gayantas tham tadita ivata, Mega chakre virejahu. Shukadev Goswami in his samadhi is seeing this, the beauty of the Rasalila. How Braj gopis are dancing. First, Padanyasa. They do Padanyas. Does anyone know Bharatanatyam dancing here? No? Any of the girls, you do Bharatanatyam? No? Odissi dance? Kachipuri? No? Who's a dancer here? You. So you know all about Padanyas, right? How you have to place your feet. This is the first thing you have to learn. How to place the feet. The different movements. And the movements have to go along with the rhythms, with the tal. They have so many beautiful tals. Tai, ta, tai, tai, ta, tai, tai, tai. Drumiki, 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 tuki, 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 tak, bo, patam, tam. This is one of the... can you play that? This is one of the tals from the Rasalila. So they're placing their feet. Exactly their feet are going according to in time with the rhythm of the music. And Bhuja vidutibi, their arms are moving, manifesting so many mudras. Bharat Muni describes 777 mudras. And by the mudras, the positions of their fingers, they're expressing so many emotions. They're doing the abhinay, expressing the drama of their emotions through their mudras. And their arms are moving very quickly. Sasmita, they're smiling. Bhru vilasai, and their eyebrows are moving. Yeah, it's not you don't have to only learn how to dance with your body. In the classical dance, you have to also learn how your eyebrows have to dance also. Bhajan madhyais chalu patahai. They take their cloth, colored cloth, and they take it in their hands and they're spinning around. It looks so beautiful and colorful. And their waists are moving so quickly. It looks as if their waist may break. And kundalai gandalolai, their earrings are swinging and casting reflections on their cheeks. Sudyanmukya kavarasana, and drops of perspiration are appearing on their foreheads like pearls. And when they spin round, then the drops of perspiration are running down their hair, and their hair kavarasana. Their hair was tied very tightly, but it became loose. And as they're spinning around, then the drops of pearls of their perspiration are spraying out from the tips of their hair. Granteva Krishna Bhagwan, loudly they're singing, Krishna, Krishna. Gayantastam talita ivata mega chakre virejahu. And they look, Krishna is like a fresh rain cloud, and the gopis look so beautiful, like a flash of lightning, illuminating the fresh rain cloud of Sri Krishna as they quickly dance. This is the Rasalila. So beautiful. So first, by their padanyas, by their feet, they're following the tal. Tai, 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 tai. And then their feet stop moving. and then their arms move. You have to do isolations, right? So one part of the body is moved, but the other part is still. Then that part of the body stops, then the other part starts moving, but the other part has to be still. These are isolations, and if someone sees this dancing, it's amazing. So this is what Shukadeva Goswami is describing in the Rasa Lila. First, their paranyas is going on, tai, 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 tai. Then their feet stop and then their arms move. Then they dancing with their arms, tai, 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 drimiki, drimiki, tuki, tuki, tikitar, bopatam, bopatam, tam. So many mudras, very beautiful. And then their arms stay there. The arms are not moving. Bhru vilasa. Then the eyebrows are dancing. Tai, 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 tai. Susmita. Then they're smiling. Then their mouth is dancing. Drumiki, drumiki. Tiki, 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 tak. Bo, patam, tam. Like this. And Krishna is watching, amazed. This is very beautiful. Rasa Lila. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's dancing in his Mahasankirtan. Very amazing. The Prem is coming there. And you know, Srila Narottam Das Thakur has prayed, Eka kalehi kota geila Gaura Nataraj. Where did Gaura Nataraj go? All the bhavs of Radharani. Mahaprabhu is manifesting in his beautiful dancing at night time in Srivasangan in the Maha Sankirtan Rasa. So those who will remember the Maha Sankirtan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it will be Udbhodhaka Lila and awaken very easily the vision of Radha Krishna's Rasa Lila in Vrindavan. So in this way, we have discussed 3 points this evening. How Gaura Lila has 3 aspects. 1, it is Bhajan Lila. 2, it is Parisistha Lila. And 3, it is Udbhodhaka Lila. This is Gaura Lila Amrita, the nectar of Gaura Lila. End of day 2. Hare Krishna. Sometimes Mahaprabhu goes to Ritudweep and there's a very beautiful lake in the village of called Kobala. And that lake is no different from Radha Kund. And the pastimes of Radha Krishna and Radha Kund awakened by Gaura's Lila there. So I am inviting everyone, 22nd to the 28th of February. 22nd to the 28th of February. Please come with us, with our Chaitanya Academy, Navadip Dham Parikrama. Tonight you've heard a few pastimes, but if you hear the pastimes in the place where behind the curtain of Maya, those Leelas are actually going on today. Adhyapya say Leela Kari Gaura Rai, Kon Kon Bhagavan Indeke Paripai. Gaura Lila is going on even today, and those who are fortunate, they can see it. So please come to Navadip Dham, hear the pastimes in the place where they're going on even today. And then we can experience together how Gaura Lila is Udbhodhaka Lila. It gives the entrance into the beautiful Nitya Seva of Radha and Krishna. Paripavana Parvadaya Prema Data Pavnavati Kumasi Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Prema Purushottama Sachinandan Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari